What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged and Undocumented. I am the big man, of course, Jimbo, coming at you live with the Twin Magic, Hope and Rafe. And of course, as always, our undocumented man himself, Mr. Cruz.
Where?
Fellas. I really hope this isn't trademarked. Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
There has been some stuff going on in the wrestling world. Again, we're going to talk about all things sports on here for all of those who are watching. But right now, there's not a lot going on in the other sports right now. You know, the summer league on basketball, baseball still going on. Yankees got the W today.
Brownie sucks.
I want to talk about that. The Astros lost in extra innings to the Rangers. Go Rangers!
Yep, Marcus Semien with the leadoff home run on the first pitch.
Yep. But all that aside, that's all the other sports. All that's going on in the sports world right now. We're going to talk some WWE. So, Cruz, take it away, my man.
All right, we're gonna quickly just breeze through the week. Of course, we'll start off with Money in the Bank this past Saturday. Huge event. I thought it was pretty good overall. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I thought it was a good card too.
Yeah. So of course, kicking off the night, which I was honestly surprised this match started it, but once I saw what happened, now I understand why it started the night. We had the men's Money in the Bank start off the night. Of course, congratulations to Drew McIntyre for winning the Money in the Bank. But everybody in that whole match did very amazing.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely. Honestly, I could probably say it's
fucking Jay.
Oh my god, dude! Just annihilated Jay at the last second. Not as much shenanigans going on in that match as we all thought.
Yeah. I did. A lot of the shenanigans that we thought that were going to go down did not go down.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly was not that big of a deal for me. It didn't impact the match in any way. I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I did go 5 for 5. Just saying.
You know what? Shut up.
Did you? I lost track of my picks and everything, honestly.
For those of you wondering, we did make picks on this event, and well, we finally won something for a change.
He had a hold of the script, is what happened.
I think I went like 1 for 4. So you know, it's a thing.
I think I had like 2 or 3 out of the 5 matches. Following that, we had Sami Zayn retaining his Intercontinental title for Braun Breaker.
Shocked
of course, the
me.
Cinderella story continuing. I was genuinely surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I legitimately, a little part of me deep down was like, this might be the end for Sami. But I mean, they kept it going. So y'all's thoughts on Sami retaining?
Shocked. I picked Braun Breaker to not only win, but as y'all, if you don't remember from our last episode, I picked Braun Breaker to just completely annihilate him.
Yeah.
That was not the case at all.
Yeah, he with the way that he was being pushed, I figured he would get it, but it's still an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like the match is over and they're not feuding anymore. Like it's still a thing. So
yeah, it's still going.
I think that's what the thing was is in my original predictions was I picked Sami to win for the sole reason of with them pushing Braun the way they are. He loses this match and he's just completely enraged. He gets his match at SummerSlam and he wins the title at one of the bigger pay-per-views. Not to say Money in the Bank isn't big, but SummerSlam is bigger than Money in the Bank to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. I in my head I was like, I did have Sami winning, but I knew it was gonna be a fight. I knew it wasn't gonna be a total squash from Braun, but I mean, he did take Braun to the limit, so that was pretty exciting. We'll get to the bigger news coming out of Money in the Bank at the end. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the World Heavyweight Title match between Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. Of course, Damian Priest, if he had lost, or he retained, so spoiler. If he had lost, he would have left Judgment Day. And I totally forgot about the stipulation that they had for Seth Rollins, where if Seth Rollins lost, he could never challenge for the title as long as Damian Priest was a champion. I loved Damian and Seth Rollins. You know, as the match was chugging along, that they kept looking at the entrance. Even Damian was like goading Drew to already come out and cash in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, halfway into the match, we hear Drew's music coming out with the briefcase. Goes to cash it in, makes it a triple threat. And then, of course, everything breaks down. You know, they get rolling along. You know, Drew's rolling along, picking up momentum, and of course, we have our favorite Second City spoiler making a glorious return again. We have CM Punk coming out of the crowd and just beating the brakes out of Drew.
Completely wrong.
Just laying into him during the match. I want to get y'all's thoughts about that. Just that moment alone of CM Punk just beating the brakes out of Drew.
I have to say that was probably one of my favorite moments of the night, and it's just that was what I predicted to happen, and it happening that way. I knew it was either going to be one thing. He was either going to cost him the contract, he was going to cost him the match, or he was going to cost him when he tried to cash in, and that's exactly what happened. Because,
disruptive cash in.
Yeah, I mean, he just. A lot of people are pissed off, to be honest with you. They're saying that somebody else could have got the contract and used it for themselves and to build. But at the same time, if you look at it from WWE Creative's perspective, it was probably the best decision for them because, in my opinion, I don't see anybody like no hate towards LA Knight, Jey Uso, anybody else that was in the match, Andrade, but I just don't see anybody else in that match getting that world title push currently. So for them to be able to use that to fuel the fire between Drew and CM Punk just made it 10 times better for me.
No, definitely.
I gotta weigh in here. Basically, I'm gonna weigh in for the majority who were pissed off. Hear me out. Granted, I think that it was the right move to give the win to Drew McIntyre. And also, granted, we did predict that CM Punk would either cost him the title or cost him the cash in, which he ultimately did.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he cashed in and just like that, the Money in the Bank cash in was squandered. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand why it went down that way because if you paid attention and you followed into Monday Night Raw, which I'm not going to go all the way into Monday Night Raw, go ahead and leak into it. If you followed into Monday Night Raw and if you saw what happened after Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre often he threw an elbow and hit Adam Pearce in the face.
Yeah, he did.
Garrett had to get involved to separate them and whatnot because he was flying off the hinge, and which ultimately ended up with Drew McIntyre being fined, I think, $25,000 to $50,000 and being suspended indefinitely. Okay, now, CM Punk was fined as well, a hefty $25,000. Okay, I know for them it might not seem like much. $25,000 could change a lot of things for every person right here. But like I said, I understand why it had to happen because ultimately it is fueling and leading to what I am predicting is basically a street fight at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I'm calling it right now.
Gotta be at this point. Yeah,
I'm predicting because, like I said, leaking into Monday, CM Punk said that he would talk to Adam Pearce about getting about getting Drew McIntyre unsuspended. Adam Pearce put out a release. I don't know if you guys saw it earlier today, but he did say that Drew McIntyre will be on Monday Night Raw. He's fit to discuss business.
Yes.
Right
Yeah,
now.
I saw that.
Of course, like I said, Drew McIntyre is in a really dark place right now because of everything that's gone down. I was not a fan of how it all went down, but I expected it to go down that way. And ultimately, it is going to lead to, like I said, what should be a hellacious street fight at SummerSlam between the two.
Oh, definitely.
I have one more thought on that. Go ahead, Cody.
I mean, I agree with what Jimbo's saying. I was also one of those people that was like pissed off, but it was for the simple fact that I was really hoping Jay was going to win it, just because how over he is right now, and I want to see him have a title by him.
Okay, so that's my other thought on it is if they were going to do that to fuel the fire between the rivalry of Drew and CM Punk, they could have done it a different way. They could have done it like the other way I had thought, where CM Punk just costs him the win of the briefcase and somebody else still gets the briefcase and can still cash in and, push their career. I think that's how it should have been done.
100%.
But
I think it should have come that way all the way. Like, him right there, CM Punk pops out, pushes up the ladder, Drew's incapacitated, somebody else snapped the briefcase.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with that. Because it's still CM Punk screwing over Drew McIntyre again.
Yeah.
So I think it could have gone that way.
Now we don't have the factor of the men's Money in the Bank cash in anymore. It's just gone.
Yeah. It's just down the drain.
I see what you're talking about.
My personal opinion, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I felt like it was a wasted Money in the Bank contract.
Unpopular opinion, but 100% agree. I agree 100%. I think it was a complete waste.
I wouldn't say a waste, but it feels that way just because it was cashed in that night, but unsuccessfully. When everybody wanted Jay to win, in order for him to have a title shot. You know what I mean?
I see where you're coming from. It's definitely not the worst one I've seen, because there have been plenty of others. Damian Sandow, off the top of my head, is one. Baron Corbin was another one. Honestly, that I'll say this: Baron Corbin probably should have won his. He did win the Money in the Bank, but he should have won his cash in. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Baron Corbin should have won his cash in.
But yeah, I wouldn't say this was necessarily wasted or anything. But it does add interesting wrinkle to the stories coming out of it, because we have Drew and Punk building up towards SummerSlam, but then we also add Seth Rollins in the mix, because Punk not only screwed Drew, but by virtue of Priest winning, he unintentionally screwed Rollins, because now Rollins can't challenge for the world title ever again as long as Priest remains champion. And as we saw Monday, and we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Rollins is also targeting Punk right now. And then Priest is also back in the situation of, he didn't have Judgment Day helping him, because he wants to try to do this on his own, but again, unintentional help from Punk, who again was another factor that got involved in another Priest match. So a lot of stuff coming out of this match. So we'll just have to see how everything works out. But now we know for sure at SummerSlam, one of the matches is going to be Priest versus Gunther, by virtue of Gunther winning the King of the Ring. So that's already going to be, or that's already decided for SummerSlam. So I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Of
what
course,
a match!
We had,
oh my gosh!
Hey, favorite match of the night.
Hey,
bravo.
Since I'm gonna say this. This is my opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels about this. Since the women's Money in the Bank matches have started, from years ago.
Mhm.
I can honestly say this is probably one of, if not the best women's Money in the Bank matches ever. And someone pointed out that, a lot of it is because there's a lot of fresh faces that were in the match. There were none of the 4 horsewomen, no disrespect to any of them, but none of the 4 horsewomen were involved in this match. And it was it felt legitimately fresh and unique. To see the women doing their thing, and of course, congratulations to Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank, who ended up pulling it off. But a lot of respect to all the women that were involved, especially. This is a highlight for me. Zoe Stark taking the suplex off the ladder from Io Sky. Oh my god, that was sketchy. And also
then hitting her head.
Oh my god, that was so scary. And then Chelsea Green getting pushed off the ladder and going through the tables near the very end. Oh my god. Oh my god. But gentlemen, y'all's thoughts on the match, on the women's Money in the Bank?
I'll go.
This guy lost. I'm happy this guy lost.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting some, like I said, Tiffany Stratton was my dark horse pick, but I was not expecting her to win. Unfortunately, my thought process going into it was, how did I pick to win that? I don't even remember who I picked.
Was it Chelsea?
I think it
was Chelsea, wasn't it? Chelsea Green?
No. We all had the idea that it would have been funny if Chelsea Green won.
Chelsea Green,
if the case fell off, like Otis the year he won it, and she just caught it. But
I don't remember who I picked to win, but I think, like Cruz said, ever since match was introduced to the women, they have done phenomenal, gone above and beyond to to make this match.
Oh, you picked Lyra.
You're right. See, I picked Lyra Valkyrie as my winner, and Tiffany Stratton was my dark horse. But like Chris said, just ever since this match became part of the women's section as well, they have done so good to make it their own and put their own twist on it. And 100%, it felt like a really, really good match. I mean, like you said, no disrespect to the 4 horsewomen, but the fresh faces, the athletic ability of them and whatnot, the good aspect of the storyline from everybody, it felt good, like a good match, and it was a good match. There were some really hard hits, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that was.
I mean, the bumps that they took in that match, probably, I would say that match in general, not just the best or one of the best Money in the Bank women's matches, but one of the best women's matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes, I can agree.
Honestly,
with that,
I would even say not as far as women, just in general. That was one of the best matches I've ever seen in general. Not even just in the women's division.
I might honestly say that was my favorite match of the night.
Oh yeah,
they used the ladder for bumps like more than anybody I've seen it all along.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
I mean, it was probably, like you said, I think that was my favorite match of the night. I mean, just the storytelling of the match, the way that, Chelsea helped Tiffany set up those tables just for Tiffany to push her onto him at the end.
That was pretty interesting.
It was very good, very good. I was impressed.
It was absolutely. Definitely deserves a rewatch. Again at some point. And of course, moving on to the main event, we had the 6-man tag between the New Bloodline. That's what most people are calling them. The New Bloodline. New Bloodline and Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Of course, Solo picking up the shocking win for the Bloodline. Very hard-hitting match. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Shocking at all. Not shocking at all. Again, we talked about last week, but I'm going to go ahead and put my point back into this. For me, it was not shocking. Disappointing that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and KO didn't get the win because it was a good match. It was a good technical wrestling match, good hard hitting. Everybody did their part. But like I stated on last episode, with this match, with dubbing Solo Sikoa as the quote unquote new tribal chief, with him taking shots at Roman Reigns now, you could not afford to have them lose the match.
Yeah,
sure.
If you go into that event and you have them lose the match, you lose all the credibility that you just built up. Him being the tribal chief, taking shots at Roman Reigns, setting up a Civil War bloodline down the road. If you have them lose, you just step in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was not shocked. I was actually ready for it. I braced for it. I think that it was a pretty decent match. There were some, I think there were some miscues. I don't know if y'all saw.
Yeah, I saw a few.
What's his name?
Tongaloa.
Tongaloa.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the low blow by Tongaloa, but the first time he went in, he totally missed. And basically punched Kevin Owens in the butt.
Or when Tongaloa slammed his head against the table.
I saw that. That was scary.
That was very scary. But when he went in again, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but he actually hit Tama Tonga in the head with his second low blow.
Straight uppercut.
I saw it. Straight up just bonked him in the head.
Yeah. So, for my aspect, it was not a surprising loss at all. Again, they don't win. You lose all the credibility that you're trying to push going into the next coming months and the next coming events.
Yeah, I think what it was. I think the reason why it was surprising to me, because I agree with you. You know, we had to give the Bloodline some kind of credibility here with the win. I think what was surprising was that Solo got the pin on Cody out of the three. But I mean, it did set up a very interesting storyline, or for the next event that we'll get into when we cover SmackDown here in a little bit. But I'm a little curious to see where it goes, and I've already started seeing the rumors about Roman Reigns for the next event. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. That about wraps it up for. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
Just one more thing I want to throw in there. You said it was surprising to you that Solo Sikoa picked up the win over Cody. For me, it wasn't only for this, because he said before Money in the Bank at Friday Night SmackDown that Cody Rhodes would acknowledge him.
Yeah.
That pretty much confirmed for me that he was going to pick up the win over Cody.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been a different, somebody else would have scored the pinfall, him and Cody did get into a squabble on the outside, and one of them, picks up a win over KO or Randy Orton. But by him saying that Cody Rhodes will acknowledge me, pretty much secured it in my brain that he's going to get the W over Cody Rhodes.
No, you're right. Honestly, I can't argue with that. You're right about that one. But I'm interested to see where this goes. So the final little piece of news from Money in the Bank, for those of you who haven't watched the pay-per-view yet, it has officially been announced John Cena will retire next year. He came out and finally announced he's retiring as of next year. So he came out and he thanked the crowd. Or actually, we had Trish Stratus come out and introduce him.
Oh yeah,
in front of her hometown crowd. And, he walked out to the ring. And
he showed the towel that said "the last time is now." I was like,
"Oh my god!" When I saw the towel, I was like, "Oh no, what is happening?" I thought he got injured or something like that. I was like, "Oh my god, no!" And he came out to the ring, he grabbed the mic, and he was like, "I am here to officially announce my retirement from in-ring competition." And he said the Royal Rumble would be his last, Elimination Chamber would be his last, and WrestleMania would be his last match, which kind of threw a lot of people off. But if you watch the post-show afterwards, he kind of clarified everything. So WrestleMania will not be his last match; it'll be his last WrestleMania.
Yes.
So he's planning to wrestle from January of next year all the way to December of last year. So sometime in December will be his final match. And from my understanding, from some of the other articles that have mentioned his retirement, they don't really have any set opponents for John Cena, and John Cena himself even mentioned it. He doesn't have any set opponents. Just whoever wants to face him can face him. I know a lot of people have been throwing out names for new faces that they want Cena to face, old faces that they want rivalries renewed. Of course, Randy Orton. Oh my God, Undertaker would be a shocker if he came back. Man, don't toy with my emotions like that. Randy Orton was a big one that got thrown up there. Of course, we all know their historic rivalry.
I've heard that they want him to be his last opponent.
I would be down if it was Randy Orton. That would be legit. Randy Orton was one name. CM Punk was another name that got thrown out there.
Yeah.
But I want to get y'all's thoughts about, what y'all thought about the retirement announcement, future opponents y'all want to see.
Very emotional. I'm not even going to try to lie. I got very glossy-eyed. Megan even saw me get very glossy-eyed and whatnot. And
it was out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. For those of you at home that are watching, you have to understand, as we've explained before in the past, Cody and Rafe, have recently got into wrestling a couple years back because, we were like super fond of it and whatnot. But for people who have been watching wrestling since they were little kids, like me and Cruz, and, we're older now, we're in our 30s now, but we still watch, this is, it's been part of our lives for so long. We grow up watching this, and, we grow watching some of our heroes, go through, the cycle. Some of them make it all the way to the top. Some of them don't. Some of them hit their stride, and then unfortunately things happen. Like the late Eddie Guerrero. I mean, the man was a pioneer. Yeah, he went through some tough times, but then he made it all the way back to capture the world title before his unexpected death and whatnot.
Yeah.
Undertaker, John Cena, Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind, even Brock Lesnar and whatnot.
Yeah.
These are the wrestlers we grew up watching, and, some of them became our heroes and whatnot. And I was actually talking to Megan about this yesterday. I still remember when John Cena debuted against Kurt Angle.
Oh, yeah.
I remember watching that SmackDown. Yep.
Aggression. I care. There's little starts and whatnot. I was like,
dude.
What the fuck is this?
Dude.
What's crazy too is I remember I was watching an interview that he was doing, and he was saying that he almost didn't even make it in WWE. He said that it got to a point where he wasn't excelling the way he wanted to, and then they found him just rapping one day in the back.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon was like, do that.
Yeah, he was like, do more of that. Just do that and roll with it.
100%. And then
the Doctor of Thugonomics was.
Oh my God! It's crazy to see how much that blew up.
But anyway, to circle it back and wrap it up on my end and whatnot. Just I grew up watching John Cena. I watched him start from when he first debuted against Kurt Angle, all the way up to his U.S. title runs. Beating JBL for the world for the undisputed title, and then becoming the world heavyweight champion, becoming the WWE champion. You've seen him all the epic matches with Edge, CM Punk, Randy Orton, JBL back in their younger years and whatnot. The list just goes on, and he's that person who became a household name. Like Cody said, the Doctor of Thugonomics, the hustle, loyalty, and respect was something that was took over the world at one point. To be like John Cena, and to him finally announce that this is the John Cena farewell tour. I mean, it's sad to me, but it's bittersweet. I mean, everybody deserves the farewell. There's only been a handful of wrestlers that I feel deserve to go out on their own terms. Okay, and everybody can count them on one hand. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and I don't know, maybe The Rock. But everybody knows I'm not a big fan of The Rock. But The Undertaker is still to this day will always be my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
To meet one Mr. Mark Calloway and thank him for everything that he did to make his childhood great. If anybody knows him, knows how to get in contact with him,
yes, please. That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
But yeah, so it was bittersweet, but I'm happy that John Cena is going to get this farewell tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy with it. I mean, I think it's well deserved. I mean, the dude has, for the longest time, he was one of the most consistent wrestlers in the WWE. And even though when he started out and going and making movies and going to Hollywood, he was still going and doing his thing in WWE as well as doing his stuff in Hollywood and juggling them actually fairly well. But, I mean, the dude was so much of an athlete that I never in my life thought I would see somebody pick up both Mark Henry and Big Show at the same fucking.
I remember that alone was crazy.
I think the whole John Cena thing did it kind of got to me too, because obviously he's probably the biggest icon from besides Undertaker, when it comes to being a world champion, 16-time world champion. But he's just the things that he's done for the industry in general, and not even just the industry, the things he's done outside of the industry for like Make-A-Wish and the soldiers and everything like that he does outside of WWE. He's just a generally good person, like he says, that hustle, loyalty, respect is like something that he lives by. It's not just just a motto. So it's like seeing him, like Jimbo said, just seeing him being able to go out on his own terms in this farewell tour, I think it's going to be really awesome to see. And just thank you, Cena. And
absolutely, yes.
All I gotta say is let's enjoy the ride, fellas.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Last ride.
Yeah. Just one last thing. I want to throw a couple people I'd love to see him mix it up with one more time. Definitely CM Punk. Definitely Gordon. I would love to see him mix it up with KO again.
Oh, that would be sick.
That would be so insane.
So sick. That'd be so cool.
I would definitely love to see him mix it up with, if not the Bloodline, then Roman Reigns one more time.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. But top two, but top three hands down: CM Punk, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens.
One more thing, let him break the record. Give him that 17th title. Give it to him, please.
Yeah, that was another thing that people mentioned. They're like, if this is the last run, let him.
Like if you're gonna
break the record and then also become Grand Slam champion, because he's never won the Intercontinental title. It's the only title he needs.
With him going to be in it for January to December, like a whole year, I feel like they have to, right? I mean,
I think so.
It's his farewell tour, and he's wrestling. It's not like he's just doing like one or two more events and that's it. He's wrestling for a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
So like, why not?
It's. I mean, it's not a bad idea, honestly.
So like, what title would they give him? That's my question.
I definitely see it. It would be great to see him break the record to mark number 17 to retire with that record, because, I mean, the dirtiest player in the game, Nature Boy Ric Flair, set that record so long ago and whatnot. And John Cena and Randy Orton are the only two people that are close to touching it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if not the 17-time world champion, I'm with Cruz on this. I definitely see the Intercontinental Championship and the Grand Slam.
Yeah. If nothing else, that would be cool to see. And maybe one day we'll do a whole episode about like looking back at John Cena's career, like just go over like favorite matches and stuff like that. If y'all want to see that, let us know in the comments.
For sure. There was a thought that kind of ran through my head that was like, man, if Randy Orton only had like one or two more title reigns and they both had like 16, they could do like John Cena's final match is like they're fighting for the 17th title for the record. That would be crazy.
Oh, that'd be sick. Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be, but man, the stars would need to align a hell of a lot for that.
Oh
yeah. But I mean, don't cry because it's ending. Smile because it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, like y'all said, let's just like y'all said, let's just enjoy the time we have left with Cena. And he said for sure he'll be. So far, he's confirmed he'll be at the Raw season premiere when they go to Netflix.
Yep.
He will be at the Rumble. I don't know if he'll be in the Rumble. He mentioned he'll be at the Rumble. I'm gonna assume he's gonna be in the Rumble. He's gonna be in the Rumble.
He said he'd be at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, he'll be at Elimination Chamber. He'll be at WrestleMania. And then, as far as we know, sometime in December will be his final match. So we'll see what they have planned for Cena's farewell tour, and that does it for Money in the Bank. So now we'll hop over to Raw real quick. Of course, we had CM Punk starting the show.
Yep.
Talk about what happened at Money in the Bank between him, Drew, and Seth Rollins came out.
And him dissing AEW.
Oh god, that was hilarious. That was classic. And of course, Rollins asking for an apology. CM Punk half-heartedly gave him an apology. He said, "I'm sorry for what I did, but because it's you, I'm not sorry." So a little standoff between them after that. Oh, of course, we got to talk about this one. Probably the greatest highlight of the night. Jey Uso and Chad Gable. They're tearing it up in the ring.
That was
close
great.
to about the last couple minutes of the match. Lights go down. Chad gets distracted. Jay gets a move on, gets the finishing on him. Gets the 1, 2, 3. The lights start going down. You can hear Pat go, "Jay, get out of there!" And Jay, just the last image of Jay was just yeet, and then he just takes off running. Oh god! And then, of course, we had the White Six leaving another package with
another VHS.
Pat McAfee, another VHS tape for us older people that know what that is. My favorite part about them dropping off the package, or Nikki dropping off the tape, was Pat telling Cole, "Are you gonna get that?" And Cole just immediately, without hesitation, no. He just immediately said no.
That's addressed to you.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Let's see.
There was one thing that happened on Raw. We were speaking of the whole Seth and CM Punk thing, which leads to Seth going to the back, running into Damian Priest, and Priest telling him, "Hey, once I get done with Gunther, you can have another shot at the title."
Yeah, pretty much forget that gentleman's
agreement. Yeah, I saw that, and very, very intriguing.
Highlight of Raw for me had because like I said, the White Six stuff is starting to finally come together and whatnot. It was a very, very brief glimpse. If you looked away, you missed it. Adam Pearce going into his office and Bo Dallas sitting.
Yes, Bo Dallas is sitting right in his office.
And he said, "What the hell?" And you just Bo Dallas sitting there, and he looks at her. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is going to start to become real."
Oh my god, this White Six story is getting very interesting.
Yes, it is. I think it was in this tape, right, that they showed who all the members are, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It showed Rowan. It showed what's his name?
Loomis.
Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, and Nikki Cross.
Yes, it showed all of them, and what led to them becoming the characters, and I was like, man, this is intense. I love it.
I would say Bray would be proud. This is
No, absolutely.
Man, absolutely.
And then one more little piece of news from Raw. Of course, we had the main event, which was Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Of course, Liv and Dom picking up the win. A little bit of shenanigans, of course, but of course, the big story coming out of it. Right as Dom and Liv were about to potentially kiss, something was about to happen. We hear, of course, the glorious return. We hear, of course, the glorious music, the glorious return of the former champion, Rhea Ripley. Best part was seeing Liv Morgan just immediately take off running through the crowd.
Yeah.
She was gone.
She was gone. Just like Jay, man. She just straight up yeet and then left.
Then WWE posted a thing on their page that showed Liv Morgan in the backstage, and you hear the crowd telling Dom, "You fucked up. You fucked up."
God. And then you see Dom just trying to tell Rhea, "Hey, nothing happened or whatever," and she was like, "Nah, she ain't buying what you're selling, Dom."
Yeah. And I have actually heard that Rhea is supposed to be opening Raw this week.
Yes. They announced earlier today that she's going to open Raw with a major announcement. I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but
that she's cleared for SummerSlam.
Oh my God! Another interesting piece that I saw on Instagram, and I think this might have been just like a Instagram thing or social media thing. When Rhea comes out, Priest is watching in the back. And you can just hear him say, I told him something was going to happen."
Yep.
So, and everybody's already speculated that, and I kind of agree. Damien was the only one that was loyal to Rhea, and the phone call he got, what was it, last week?
Yeah.
That must have been the phone call that Rhea was coming back. That made me think that was about to happen.
A quick rewind. I know we've already gotten past Money in the Bank, but right before Damien's match in Money in the Bank, when he told Finn not to get involved, and Finn just like gave him like the devil look and was like, "Okay."
Oh, dude, yes.
There's something going on.
That makes me think that makes me think they're gonna start falling apart here sooner rather than later.
Finn is on Team Liv.
Poor Harley, though. He's gonna be all again, and then JD McDomagh's not gonna have a mom and a dad.
The fucking part where he was like, "It's not that hard. It's pretty hard to do."
Oh my God. That's so stupid. Oh my God. What a Raw.
Cool.
What a Raw.
All
right, wrap it up here with some SmackDown news.
Wait. We gotta go NXT. Some shit happened on NXT.
We really should go NXT. Yeah. So on it, let me pull up my NXT news here.
I'm not gonna weigh in on this one because I'm not gonna lie. I did not watch NXT. I have had a hell of a week with work, with my boss on vacation. So I've had to help a good amount and whatnot. So I've been, and then with the storm that came through and all that, I did not get a chance to watch NXT. So
I'll be honest, not a lot happened really. The only thing that was for me was a surprise at the end, which really wasn't a surprise. They were throwing hints the whole week.
So of course we had Heatwave on Sunday, the day after Money in the Bank. One of the big news coming out of that was Ethan Page.
Yes.
Won the Fatal 4-Way to become the new NXT champion.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
If you watch the end of Heatwave for a split second before they go off the air, they show Joe Hendry's face.
He turns around and, "Hey, Joe Hendry."
Yeah. So going into NXT this week, Ethan Page comes out, talks, cuts a promo about this is the era of ego. And then he had Sean Spears come out, Trick Williams and Javon Evans, and they're all starting to get in each other's face about what's going on. And then they set up a tag team match between. Oh no, it was Yeah, it was Trick Williams and a mystery partner, which we'll get into in a minute. And then it was Shawn Spears and Ethan Page.
Yep.
And then we also had another surprise that came out. Wes Lee came out that night, and it sounded like he was about to retire or walk away from WWE because he lost his match at Heatwave against Oba Femi for the North American title. And who should show up but his old tag team from TNA, the Rascals. And they hyped him up. They said, "Hey, don't leave yet. Don't leave. You know, we gotta. We're right here with you." So it sounds like we're getting a Rascals reunion, not only in NXT but potentially, fingers crossed, in TNA, especially with all the TNA crossovers that are going on right now. And they were in a backstage argument with Gallus. And that set up a match for next week between Gallus and the Rascals.
Okay.
And then moving on to the main event, we had Trick Williams, of course, in the tag team match, and his mystery partner was, of course, everybody said his name, and he appeared. We got Joe Hendry coming out of nowhere, teaming up with Trick Williams to defeat Ethan Page and Shawn Spears. And it's funny because if you go watch the interview or the backstage interview with Trick Williams, when he's talking about his tag team partner, you see Joe Hendry's face again on the screen behind them.
Oh yeah.
But it was pretty cool. But yeah, Trick. Joe Hendry actually got the win.
Yes, he
got
did.
the win on. I believe he got it on Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm very curious to see if Joe Hendry will be in the NXT title picture.
It was a great match, honestly.
It was actually very good. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Just some things that we missed from Raw, but also I saw that Adam Pearce posted this earlier on today. So Sami Zayn did get attacked by Braun Breaker again because Braun is super sour grapes about losing. Ilya Dragunov did come out and interfere, which has set up a intercontinental title match for them this coming Monday on Raw. And then also, you see some of the smaller matches and whatnot. You had Bronson Reed versus, what's his name? Cruz, help me out. What's his name? He's part of the dude that messes with people's fingers.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. Yeah, he had that match as well. Unfortunately, the big tsunami landed on top of Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
which ultimately is leading to a match next Monday as well from Big Bronson Reed against Sheamus, because Sheamus came out to support Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne didn't like that because
he did not.
Or at least part of the Brawling Brutes and whatnot before Sheamus got out.
Sheamus came out looking like an Irish redneck.
He really did. He did.
Sheamus is finally starting to look like banger after banger now instead of burger after burger.
Yeah.
It's a slow and steady process, but we're slowly getting there.
Oh yeah. So those are some matches to look forward to next coming Monday on Monday Night Raw. Like I said, Ilya Dragunov versus Sami Zayn for the IMC title, but make sure to tune in because I'm pretty sure Braun Breaker's going to interfere. And then Sheamus versus Bronson Reed. I feel that would be a good one. I hope Bronson Reed doesn't jump on top of Sheamus.
Yeah.
And, he goes splatter him and just make mayonnaise everywhere.
Jeez. Oh my god, the human jar of mayonnaise. Hey, WWE, if you're looking for opponents for John Cena in his final run, give him Sheamus. That'd be very interesting.
Oh, that'd be good.
Considering Sheamus was the one to beat him for his first WWE title. And I think Cena was the one that started the human jar of mayonnaise. That he started calling Sheamus. Oh, God.
Alright, let's move on to SmackDown.
Yeah, wrapping up with SmackDown here. A lot of shenanigans going on over there, too. We started the show with Miss Money in the Bank, Nia Jax, and Bayley. Of course, Nia Jax and Bayley getting into some verbal altercation. Nia Jax throwing out the weirdest line I ever heard. You're not the hugger anymore. So what are you, BBL Bailey? Oh my god, which was just so out of pocket for me when I heard it. I was like, I mean,
BBL Bailey.
God, that just threw me for a loop when she said that. And that led to a match between Mia Yim and Nia Jax. Once it was over, Jackson Tiffany beat down Bailey, and Tiffany looked like she was about to cash in the briefcase, but Nia Jax just gave her a look and said nope. So they just both walked off.
I see that happening at SummerSlam.
I mean,
that's actually very interesting.
The opportunity is there. I mean,
yeah, because as far as we know, it's Bailey and Nia Jax for the title, to my knowledge. Unless something unforeseen happens and Tiffany cashes in. But we'll see. We'll have to just pay attention to SmackDown. We had DIY versus. Oh no, let me go through the other matches real quick. We had Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews versus Angel Garza and Berto.
those two Mexicans.
Legado del Fantasma won thanks to interference from Elektra Lopez and Angel. Elektra Lopez distracted the ref. Santos Escobar hit Cruz, and Angel got the pin. The one thing I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little invested in this little babyface run they got going for Baron Corbin. It was definitely interesting to see him as a babyface now after all these years of him being a heel. So I mean, I'm digging it. So hopefully something comes of this little babyface run for Corbin.
Yeah, especially with all those character changes he had for a while.
Yeah, well, man, I'm still saying it. Happy Corbin was goated. although we can't forget the iconic broke Corbin or what?
Bum-ass Corbin.
There you go. Yeah, there it is, dude. Oh man, classic right there. We had Blair Davenport versus Naomi. But before that, we had LA Knight coming out and revealing that he has been given a U.S. title shot by Nick Aldis.
Yes.
And all he needs is Logan Paul to sign off on it. so
there's a crap from Logan Paul about it, but I mean, most likely it's going to happen at SummerSlam. And with Logan Paul getting ready to be a father and whatnot, I do see him dropping the title at SummerSlam because for those of you that don't know, Logan Paul and his fiancée Nina Adendall are expecting their first child, and so I think she's going to be due really close to SummerSlam.
Yes.
So I do see I do see it becoming an official match, and I do see Logan Paul dropping the title at SummerSlam.
Yes. Also, really quick, very off topic, but shout out to Logan Paul. He was actually in the most recent Mr. Beast video that dropped today.
I saw.
It was actually very entertaining in that video. I'm not gonna lie. A little part of me was kind of hoping he'd have the U.S. title with him in the video, but
what was the video about? I didn't see.
It was 50 YouTubers competing for $1 million to give to their subscribers. It was actually a very entertaining video.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast is so badass.
They had him. They had some of the ones I recognized were him, Laserbeam, Pokimane, Valkyrie. They had KSI on there. KSI was competing.
KSI was on there.
And iShowSpeed was gonna compete, but his plane showed up late. But he still was involved in the video in some way. But it was just very funny seeing KSI and iShowSpeed, seeing them in the video is pretty funny considering what happened to them in the past 2 WrestleManias. Thanks to Randy Orton, just RKOing the bejesus out of both of them, especially iShowSpeed. iShowSpeed is still my favorite RKO he got.
He was dead.
Especially because Randy Orton was just barking at him afterwards. Oh my god. But yeah, we had Blair Davenport, Naomi defeating Blair Davenport. Then the main event, we had DIY defending their tag team titles in a rematch against A-Town Down Under. DIY retained. And then at the very end, we had Jacob Fatu coming out, causing some shenanigans again for the Bloodline. Bloodline just beating Bloodline just beating the brakes out of everybody. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton coming down. Oh, that was another thing I forgot to mention was the backstage conversation between Cody and Randy.
Yeah.
Where Randy said he's like I got your back, Cody. Got my eyes on that title. So I was hoping that would lead to them at some point, especially given the history between both of them in Legacy way back in the day when Cody Rhodes was still a young whippersnapper. But we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, they beat down Cody, tied him up to the ropes, and had him watch as they beat down Randy Orton. And they stood tall at the very end of the show.
And
Boosh.
KO was not there due to family issues.
Yes. Love and prayers to KO for his family issues.
Yep. 100%.
And that was about it.
So to pick up on the attack on DIY, so if you saw the very new promo that the Bloodline cut, Solo Sikoa talked about how they used to hold all the gold. They held the tag team titles. They held the world heavyweight, the undisputed heavyweight championship. But then if you see again, he took another shot at Roman Reigns. He said Roman Reigns wasn't strong enough to hold this family together.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of cheap shots being taken right now at Roman Reigns, which is going to fuel the fire. I fully expect Roman Reigns to be back at SummerSlam because it definitely appears that all this is going to lead to a match between Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I foresee Bloodline getting involved, Randy Orton getting involved, Kevin Owens getting involved, and then ultimately Roman Reigns costing Solo Sikoa the title.
And Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, and Jimmy Uso. If you didn't see last week, Jimmy Uso has officially been medically cleared to return. So he will be very soon.
Yeah.
Don't know when. I mean, there's no doubt he is 100% against the new Great Value Bloodline. But it wasn't. I was surprised that it was Jacob Fatu that attacked DIY and not the whole Bloodline. But again, at the same time, he is Solo's enforcer, so dude is completely unhinged. I really think we're talking about it again with Tama Tonga and Tagaloa. Tagaloa seems to be like because you don't see him wrestle much, you don't see him get involved much in the fighting. It looks like he's more of a combative Paul Heyman, if you will.
Yeah, basically.
You see him stand off to the side a lot. You see him, get involved slightly, and then when the melee goes down and the beatdown starts, then he gets involved. But he's more or less on the sideline. I don't know if that's due to injury or if that's the role they have him playing. But Tama Tonga is just a little Tasmanian devil. Strikes me, like I said, as more of a physical and a bit more combative wise man like Paul Heyman, but like I said, more combative. And then Jacob Fatu, that dude is just all friggin' diesel.
Yeah.
We were watching, and if y'all watched on Friday night, everybody can attest to this. For as big as he is, for being more on the heftier side, he should not be able to move like that.
Yeah.
He executes such perfect technique. He's able to scale the rope in a snap. He's able to do bounces off the rope like nothing. It's almost scary.
I'm telling y'all, if anybody that's watching this, I'm telling y'all, if you have never seen Jacob Fatu wrestle, go back and look up, MLW or any other promotion he's been in, or just look up Jacob Fatu in general. A man his size, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I stand by it. A man his size should not be moving the way he does. because that dude is built like a heavyweight and moves like a cruiserweight. But please go watch him if you ever have a chance, because that dude is doing stuff that just looks physically impossible for a guy his size.
And I also want to bring up the fact of Solo saying pretty much when Roman comes back, if he comes back, he's going to acknowledge me.
Bro, he wishes.
I'm still not buying it.
I fear you and Superman punch.
Yeah, he's gonna acknowledge that Superman punched the face.
I definitely think this is still all signs point to a civil war bloodline. Bloodline civil war. Just the sides are still going to be set. You clearly have the Great Value bloodline now. You have the return of Roman Reigns, inevitable. Yeah. The return of Jimmy Uso, inevitable. I have no doubt that Paul Heyman will return with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You have, and a lot of people probably don't want to see this, but I feel and see that you have the return of Jay Uso to help his brother and Roman Reigns, inevitable as well.
I agree.
Like a Uso reunion.
Yeah, like an Uso reunion.
Gotcha. Yeah. No. Yeah. Everybody's speculating that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. We have a long way.
Maybe why they didn't give him the title?
Do I know?
You think that's maybe why they didn't give him the Money in the Bank?
Well, I don't think it's going to put them as a tag team. I think they're going to stay separate and do their own thing, but they're going to come together just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I mean, if they want to, if the new bloodline is able to take the tag team titles, it could potentially fuel an Uso reunion for one of the greater tag teams of all time again, because the Usos are without a doubt on that list, one of the greatest tag teams.
Oh yeah.
And so we have a long way to go until WrestleMania next year. We have a lot of pay-per-views coming up. We have a lot of shows to go. So I think that all signs point to a Civil War match at WrestleMania next year. Potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
I would say Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Like War Games?
War Games, yeah. War Games, and then set up something for WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania is like the end all be all for this.
Yeah. Well, I've heard this next WrestleMania might be Rock and Roman, like they wanted to do last year.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting if the Rock somehow plays into all this bloodline civil war going on.
If he does, though, what side do you see him taking?
Solos.
That is a nice. Oh yeah.
He's gonna keep the final boss gimmick, and Roman and him are just gonna.
Maybe he's like. Maybe it's the fact that he's still upset that Roman lost the title to Cody, and he kind of basically just lost face with the family. So Rock is like, no, you're not worthy to be, tribal chief or the leader or anything like that. And it's time to look at Solo. So maybe he does. Maybe this is what leads him to take Solo's side in this whole situation.
Potentially. There's a lot.
There's a lot to process right now with this whole bloodline.
So if you're not watching Monday Night Raw, if you're not watching Friday Night SmackDown, if you're not watching the pay-per-views and whatnot, watching, stuff.
That might be another topic we'll do on an episode.
It's slowly transitioning, and you can tell it's slowly transitioning from what was the PG era to this new era that's going to happen when Netflix comes.
Yeah.
When is
did talk about the
January.
Netflix thing? January.
Okay, yeah. January.
I don't know when exactly in January, but they did say January.
Okay.
But yeah, Triple H said with this move to Netflix, they're starting to do like edgier content, which kind of makes sense because everybody's like swearing more, and they're doing blood and everything like that. And then they're also doing they're also or Triple H said they're also like putting kayfabe and reality together, or like blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality, which kind of makes sense if you look at the Drew and CM Punk storyline, because they keep mentioning, you know, each other's wives, and, you know, Drew mentioned his dog and stuff like that. So yeah, there's 2025 for WWE is going to be really crazy. The rest of 2024 is going to look crazy too, but 2025 is WWE's going to hit the ground running, and I'm very curious to see where this goes. If you'd have told me years ago that this was going to be WWE now, I'd have called you crazy. But here we are. Here we are with Triple H leading the charge. So we'll see what he's got cooking for WWE on NXT, or not NXT, Netflix next year.
No doubt. I think that's all we got on the wrestling front right now. Gentlemen, we are streaming towards the start of football. We are getting ever so close. We're already at the halfway point of July.
We are.
Y'all know what this means.
Football's next month.
For those of you who play video games and are football fans, specifically college football fans, a game is releasing for early to play on Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. And on Wednesday, like I think it's like Tuesday night at midnight, I think is when it's available. But
I think so, yeah. It's usually how it goes.
I have never been more excited for a video game or sports video game in my life.
Yes.
Ever.
Absolutely. And once it does release, I know that at least me, him, and him plan on getting that game. We most likely will stream us playing this game against each other, and we will post it so you can watch us go apeshit on each other. Because
it's gonna look like the UT spring game.
Oh my god!
The game is actually already downloaded on my PlayStation.
Oh my god! Nice.
Guy.
It's still crazy that we're in a timeline where the college football games are coming back, because it's been a while since I played. Because I played the last one, like the very, very last one that came out.
It was like 14, I think.
Yeah, 14 was the last one I played.
Which was actually made in 13, so it's been 11 years since they made a college football game.
Just about. That's crazy to think about. That's about as long as I've been out of school. That's really crazy to think about. But I'm legitimately excited about it. As little as I play sports video games, I'm still legitimately excited for this. But I'm definitely looking into getting in and giving it a try.
One of these days, we have to all get together and play WWE 2K on stream.
That just sounds like a horrible idea.
It sounds fun.
I'm not very good at it.
Hey, I've done a couple of streams on mine.
I think I play on like super easy mode.
All video games.
But anybody watching this, if y'all want to see us play any WWE games, put it in the comments down below.
Or if y'all want to see me hop on and kick his ass at Madden, let me know. I'd happily do it.
He beat me in his sleep one time.
I'm about to say, this guy over here don't want it, because we played one time and I was falling asleep while killing him. I can honestly say there's only one person who, I don't remember if he beat me or not, but he got close to beating me, and that's him.
Who, me?
You, fool!
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was, I don't know what was going on with him that day, but he squeaked one out against me.
I was having a really, really off day.
It was honestly a pretty good game. And it was, I believe, on 16, but...
Yes, it was. Guys, I just counted the days. Preseason kicks off on August 8th. We are about 25 to 26 days from kickoff of preseason.
Just about.
I'm so excited. Y'all don't even know. And then shortly after that, college football follows it. And then shortly after that, the kickoff of the 2025 season. I'm so excited.
Pretty
Another thing,
hot time to be a fan, sports fan.
Another thing in the gaming world, I don't know if you guys saw, or if you're fans of Gears of War, but they released the trailer for. There's a new Gears of War game coming out.
Yes, I saw that.
It's called
so
E-Day, and it's the beginning of how everything started.
It's a prequel to everything. I saw
Dom
that.
is
I'm
back.
so hyped for that.
Marcus is back.
I'm so hyped for that. I am so pumped for that, bro.
Should be a good one. Should be a good one. So for those of you out there who don't know, I run a fantasy league every year called the Fantasy of Champions. I won it last year. I'm not bragging. I promise I'm not bragging. That consists of us four right here plus 6 other people. Now this year, if we're gonna be jazzing it up a little more. But if you'd like to be in a league with us, and if you think you can take on any one of us, because believe it or not, our undocumented man down here, he doesn't play fantasy football that much. He doesn't watch football much, but he'll give it a run.
Yeah, I will legitimately try. I think this will be my 5th year or so doing this.
What did they call Brock Purdy, guys, when he got drafted? Mr. Irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Make no mistake, Mr. Irrelevant right down here.
Yeah,
he will give you a run for your money.
I've had some shockers of seasons. Last year I did pretty decent. Last year I think.
Yeah, you did decent. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Just like.
I still like the story of the ring that it was. So for those of you watching this, the ring. So we ended up, a cash prize for the winner, and I think it was halfway during the season, you announced that you were going to get a ring for the winner. Because we used to do this for fun, but last year we did it, to kind of ante up and make it a little bit more fun, which it was. So the big man here got a ring ordered and everything like that, and it came in. I think the week it was over. I think the week it ended, or a week before, something like that. And he ended up winning, so he basically ordered the ring for himself. Which is still pretty funny. It was just very, very funny timing on when the ring showed up. But it was still pretty cool.
Jimbo.
You see this hand right here? It's a little lonely over here, so make no mistake. Daddy's looking some more hardware.
Are you gonna Tom Brady and just get a ring for each finger?
100%.
You're gonna be it's gonna be like the meme with Tom Brady when he got his head photoshopped on Thanos' body and the Infinity Gauntlet had the rings. Oh my god.
Well, I think that's all we got for today. You guys got anything else I want to add before we close up?
Speaking of, you just said something about Marvel. I just have to say, did you guys see the trailer for the new Captain America movie?
Yes, I saw it.
Looks pretty good.
It actually does.
You're good, so I don't care.
No, I saw it. I'm legit pretty excited about it. I'm very, very curious where this story is gonna go.
I saw the trailer for the new trailer for Deadpool, which features an old friend.
Yep, I saw that too. Yep, I saw that too. I'm pretty hyped that Sabretooth is coming back.
So excited.
I've seen the reviews on it, and the critics and stuff, and everybody's saying that this movie it's not just a movie, it's gonna open up a whole new world for the MCU apparently.
Absolutely.
Absolutely has to. It 100% has to. But if you guys got anything, I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Again, if you have any questions, comments, you want us to talk about something, please leave us a message in the comments. We would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you for all the views that we've been getting. Our views have started to go up a little bit. So tell your friends. Tell them to tell their friends. Let us know. Again, we're just 4 friends talking about things we're passionate about. Next week, we're going to have some other things besides wrestling to talk about as we get closer to the football season. And as the baseball season starts to heat up as well. We have Summer League going on in the NBA. Plus, the Olympics are kicking off next week, I think, for
the 26th, I believe. The 25th to 26th, I believe, is the start.
Okay, following week. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about the medal count, where America sits at, hopefully on top. And if not, well, we'll talk about it. Anybody want to say anything before we close out?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is Unhinged and Undocumented. I'm the big guy with the twin power, Cody and Rafe. And our undocumented man himself, Mr. Cruz. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be blessed, and we'll talk to you next time.
God bless.
Take care, guys.
Peace.